Sidelined or Inspired. This is Liz Blake and it's day 27 of 30 days live. You know, in work, we serve someone. So who do you serve? If you work in corporate, you're working in other people's containers, other people's policies, other people's practices, in other people's, the job descriptions that other people write, in other people's role promotion timeframes and conditions. Or you could be doing a role for this time in life that's just not in your passion. But it's a practical necessity at this time. Now that's erodes our motivation and actually even self-confidence after a while. If you're working in corporate, you'll be sidelined. You are actually sidelined in decision making in some ways. For instance, your motivation can be sidelined by KPIs that don't even work. Now, because I do coaching at various levels, I know some things that how some things work, and there are many KPIs that actually don't even work. Okay, let's say keep to that. And there are bonus systems that don't motivate, and there are bonus systems that demotivate others, and systems where, you know, to get a role, the role that you want and that you would be well placed in, you know, you're basically waiting for someone to die or move on. And I say that nicely, it's kind of allegorically. But it can actually, you know, if we think about it, we can, as we reflect, we can actually feel a bit like a commodity. But it is a position of being vulnerable and susceptible to others. So what can change this? Like, that's a lot of bad news, and it's a bit of introspection there. What can change this? Well, in this corporate sphere, you know, you might have been toying, you might already have started this, or you may be toying with the idea of a side gig, adding something or replacing the whole, replacing something with something that motivates you and allows you full expression. Now, that's not something that the corporate world talks about, your full expression. You're meant to fit in a container, not a container be built around you. And this is the thing. So this is where you can change. So if you build a business, if you start a business even as a side gig, or if you build the business that you have started as a side gig, you will be you'll be taking on entrepreneur skill sets. Now, this is really important because they're transferable across so many fields, any kind of entrepreneurship. You already have resources that are being taken for granted. You might be taking them for granted because they're normal for you, because they're in you, okay, already. But you have resources, and some of those are not being used. So going back to the first question of who do we serve in work? Who do you serve in work? Being in business, business is a way of serving others and yourself. Serving others, now, when I say yourself, it's yourself and the interests of your family around you. When nobody is a true solo person, we all interact with others, and it's the success of the self and the interaction, the self relationship and the relationship with others that brings a real win. But in business, you can serve others and yourself. It's not one or the other. You can be you are self-determining. You learn to adapt and change. You can and you do adapt and change, and you take control. Okay, so that carries a responsibility with it, but freedom always comes with responsibility. So to go from sidelined to inspired, business is the only way.